What is up, guys? Welcome to my review for Titan Season 1, Episode 10, titled Koriand'r. So, Episode 8 ended with the cliffhanger that Starfire is on Earth to kill Raven, and this episode continued that, although to not really a huge extent. Like, the episode is titled Koriand'r, but it didn't really mainly focus on Koriand'r. It mainly focused on Raven and her mother, and Kori was there in the background, and she was a big part of it, but she wasn't the main focus of the episode, so that's a little weird. In terms of the resolution for the cliffhanger, I did have a small problem with this, which is that it doesn't really make any sense to me. Like, all her memories were fixed. If you look at episode 8, the way that ended, it looks like she completely changed to what she was before she lost her memories, but it turns out she only remembered a little bit of it, which doesn't really make any sense to me, and she was knocked out, and then she's reverted back to the other Starfire that just remembers a little bit of it. It doesn't really make much sense to me. It would have been cool to see something where Kori becomes the person she was before, but then she's conflicted with those memories compared to the memories she's made after she lost all her memories. That would have been cool to see. I don't really like what they did here with that. So then Starfire leaves the place, and Dick and Donna follow her while Raven and Beast Boy and her mother have their own storylines. So first of all, I'll talk about the Starfire, Donna Troy, and Dick Grayson thing, which was revealing and expanding about everything about Starfire's mission and her connection to Raven along with Trigon, which I did like that part of the episode. All the explanations for why Starfire is here, what she's here to do, and why she wants to kill Raven. Although, again, I don't really like how they're doing the memory thing here. I do like the reveals of why she's here, and they finally said the word Trigon, which was pretty cool. Also, like, throughout this episode and really the season in general, they were teasing up Raven's father, and they finally mentioned Trigon, which was cool. I feel like they built that up pretty well. But then you get to the end of the episode, which I won't get to right now, but it was a little disappointing, but I'll get to that later. But that's basically everything that happened in that storyline. It's really easy to sum up. It's just Starfire's mission being explained, the connection for Trigon and Raven, and her mother as well, to Tamaran, which wasn't really the biggest connection. It was just that Trigon was going to eat the Earth, or destroy the Earth, and then he's going to destroy the rest of the universe, I guess, every planet. So the Tamaran connection, not exactly the biggest connection, but that's everything that happened in that storyline. Also, I guess the mother was revealed to be evil, which I did like that twist. I didn't see that coming in particular, because I'm pretty sure in the comics she isn't evil. Like in this episode, she's portrayed as this very loyal, I guess, wife to Trigon, while in the comics that's definitely not the case. So that was a good twist that I didn't see coming. Also, throughout this episode, she just acted very nice and pleasant and polite, so it was a good twist when it turns out she was evil and she was working for Trigon this entire time. But then there's the whole Beast Boy / Raven storyline, which for Beast Boy, it was him dealing with the fact that he bit that guy and killed that guy from a couple episodes ago, which did take quite a while for him to deal with that, but I guess so many things were happening that he didn't get the chance to, and for that, in this episode, they handled it rather well. I mean, it wasn't very much. It was just like 2 or 3 scenes, maybe even less, but those scenes were pretty good. It was just him looking in the mirror, realizing that he's all blooded up, and then later going outside and seeing the ghost, or just seeing the guy he killed. I did like that quite a lot in this episode. I mean, it wasn't really a big deal. It wasn't amazing or anything, but it is something that I like, the fact that they're exploring, which is Beast Boy is, he's not very violent, and then he bit this guy, and that kind of messed him up psychologically. So the ending of the episode is basically when everything in the episode actually happened. Like, for the most part, everything before that, there wasn't much that happened. Like, let's be honest here, it was just Starfire, Donna Troy, and Robin heading somewhere. Like, they were just driving, and then they got there, and then they opened the ship, and then they went in, and then things happened. And for Raven's storyline, it was just them dealing with Beast Boy, and Rachel had some talks with her mother, and then everything happened when Beast Boy became all blooded up. So really not much happened throughout the actual episode. But then the ending, everything in Starfire's storyline, the exposition dump with Trigon and all the Tamaranian things. And then that's also when everything was going on in the house, when Angela obviously was trying to trick Raven into getting Trigon out of his dimension by doing something to Beast Boy, something that makes it so that Raven can't heal him, which I don't know why she can't heal him. Maybe Angela knows how to manipulate Trigon and Raven's powers in some sort of way, but then she tricks Raven into doing this, and Raven does. The problem I have with this is that the way they did this by Raven actually bringing Trigon out of his dimension is it felt so casual. It didn't feel like Raven was even considering the fact that this guy, everyone's telling him he's just super evil and he's like the worst guy ever. She doesn't even consider the fact that maybe she shouldn't bring Trigon out of his dimension, and she just does. Like Angela says, you should probably get your father. Raven says okay, and then she brings him out a minute later. It just felt way too casual for that. And then Trigon shows up. So Trigon showed up, and although this is pretty cool, the fact that Trigon is here is pretty cool, and all the build up to him in this season and this episode in particular, that was all great, and that all leading up to him coming through the portal with Raven, that was also handled pretty well, although again it was pretty casual. But anyway, he shows up and he's just a regular guy. He just looks like a regular guy. He doesn't even look like a menacing guy at all. It doesn't feel like he would be Trigon, and I was underwhelmed. Like Trigon, he's this huge towering red demon with horns, and here he just comes out of the mirror and he's just a regular looking guy. It was very underwhelming. Now I get the budget concerns, those don't really work, as well as the fact that he probably will become his demon form in the season finale or whenever he returns. But I just think when he came out of the portal and everything, this is all building up to him coming out and him being in this season, it was just a regular guy, and that was very underwhelming. But the episode just basically ended right there with Dick somehow going into the house, and that's where it ended, which again, another cliffhanger ending for a Titans episode. What is new? So in conclusion, this episode was definitely not the strongest episode of Titans. I think that the pacing was a little off. Like again, nothing happened for the first 30 minutes, and then the last 10 minutes, everything went down. The first couple minutes, something happened, but between then and the ending, absolutely nothing happened. So the pacing was a little off. Some things just didn't work, like Raven conjuring up Trigon. It just felt too casual, and that's basically it. I don't really have that many complaints about the episode, but there are also a couple things that I just didn't like. And as for the penultimate episode of the season, it is a little underwhelming, although the season finale, which does look kind of unrelated to this episode, does look pretty great or pretty insane. So with that all in mind, I will give this episode a 8 out of 10. But anyway, let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.